Do that. Oh.
Tuesday night, Raj is in the house. It's the Krug Show. A lot to get to. Panther week. Let's go. Off and running Tuesday night on the Krug Show, brought to you by Pig and a Pickle. The best barbecue in all of Northern California is Pig and a Pickle. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. They do run out, so get there early. They're opening a brand new location in Petaluma. Check them out there as well. We'll be in Corte Madera on December 7th for the Krug Show meet and greet. Stop by, have some brisket, watch some ball, hang out, say hi to Damon and Mary, maybe order some barbecue, bring it home, go Christmas shopping. We'll be there all day. December 7th, stop by. We'll maybe have some Krug Show prizes for whoever comes from the greatest distance. But we'll do a meet and greet, MEAT and greet at Pig and a Pickle in Corte Madera. If you show up to Emeryville, I'm not going to be there. You can get brisket, but you're not going to get me. I'll be at Corte Madera. So we'll be there all day, hanging out, watching football, chopping it up with Damon and Mary. Stop by, order some barbecue, and hang out. Maybe do a little Christmas shopping as well. We're also brought to you by Sleeper and Habbas Law. We'll tell you more about them in a bit. But Raj is in the house. We got a lot to get to. And Raj, Eddie De Niro is 22 of 22, but they're looking for a replacement, at least short term. They worked out unders, don't call me Anders Carlson, Tanner Brown, and John Parker Romo. Do you have a preference for any of the three kickers? What do you think?
Yeah, it was tough to see Eddie De Niro get hurt because the guy's been so money. He came in, he hasn't missed a field goal. Like, we had a kicker problem for a while, and we got the result. We resolved it. And then because it's the 49ers 2025 season, you just can't go without one bad injury if you win. It's like you win, and the football god said, hold up. You want to keep Christian McCaffrey healthy? We're going to take a player. And not only him, but Eddie, Tatum Bethune, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, that sucked. It's a hamstring injury for a kicker. So I don't know if, how bad that's going to affect him, but to me, that's I'm concerned. But as far as the three kickers that they brought in to try out, I guess I'd go Anders because he's been on the team. He looked okay when he was with the Niners previously. I think out of all of them, I know the most about him because he played for the Niners. So I would roll with him. He was good when he was with the team. But Matt Barrow said they're still not finished tryouts. They're going to have more guys in tomorrow. Sounds like they're like, we got to make sure we get the right guy. Because you got to think about it, Larry. They had a lot of pressure on Jake. They drafted him. It didn't pan out. You take Pinheiro. His mindset when he came in, he's like, I can't miss or I'm going to be off the team. Like, that was his mindset. Like, he hasn't missed. This next guy that they bring in, if he misses a field goal, the fans they're going to hate him. So this is a tough spot. They have to nail this. I think Anders is the right pick.
Yeah, I like Anders probably the most of these guys. I don't know tons about him, but based on, he's got the longest kick of any of them, a made kick. He was here with the Niners last year. He was perfect when he was here. He's got the brother, Daniel Carlson, who's also a great kicker. I think I'd go with Anders. Don't call me Anders, call me Anders. But, the other guy who had a lot of pressure on him this last week was Brock Purdy. Because Brock Purdy was going into a game where, not everybody was like, yeah, go to Brock Purdy. Tom Brady, Richard Sherman, guys like myself were like, hey, sit him out. Stay with Mac, ride the hot hand. Not because we didn't believe in Purdy. I mean, we're flying blind. We have no idea what the doctor's prognosis was. I just thought, some rest is good, more rest is better. And since you already had the number one passing attack, I would have stayed with Mac Jones. But I think Kyle Shanahan was looking at it differently. And he went to Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy played really, really well in this game. I thought this was the interesting stat. Against Arizona, Brock Purdy attempted 4 passes of 20-plus yards. Mac Jones, in his replacement run with the Niners for Purdy, went 3 games without attempting any passes of 20-plus yards. So they're different quarterbacks. They both can process. They're both accurate. They're both smart, but those are the similarities, but there are differences. And Purdy knows the offense better, is much more eager and wanting to drive the ball down the field. He takes more chances, but he also gets, he produces more points, and he knows the system better than Mac, so he can get you out of bad plays and into better plays. And we saw that, a few times as well. What did you think of Purdy's bounce back game?
That was impressive. I mean, I was one of the people that said, "Hey, ride the hot hand." Mac Jones has been looking good, and he did. And I posted the other day before Brock was going to start when they announced it. I say, "Hey, man, shout out to Mac. He held it down. He did more than hold it down. Right? I don't think the Niners would be where they're at without Mac. A great backup quarterback, because in the past they've had quarterback situations where the guy goes down, and you're like, oh my god, they've had to read Mullins and all these guys, and Mac came in, kept them afloat. And I really respected that. I said that, and a bunch of people started tweeting that. And I really felt that. I said, man, Mac Jones has really held it down. And I was concerned, Brock, that's a bad injury. Kyle said he's never going to be 100% this year. We know how that injury goes. So I was concerned, not going to lie to you. But this was a good, this is a good little stretch of games for Brock to come in, knock the rust out. It's his homecoming game. He's got a lot of family in Arizona. So he was like going to put on a show. And he played with the chip on his shoulder. I feel like he came in and he's like, look, man, Mac's breathing down my neck. If I play bad, the media is going to say, I'll get Brock out of here. And he got paid $53 million. And, it just was Brock Purdy said, listen, I'm going to go out there, play football like I always do. And he did a damn good job, man. I mean, there was a few risky passes because Brock is a risk taker. He's like that Brett Favre. He's going to throw it down. He's going to try to make some big plays. And sometimes you're like, what are you doing, Brock? But, fortunately for the Niners, unfortunately for the Cardinals couldn't come up with those interceptions, but they scored their most points of the season. He got the rust off, and I think he'll just continue to get better. The offense was humming. You could tell Kittle was happy to have him out there. Christian McCaffrey and him, they were like so hyped to be there. This is their leader. He's, elite in the huddle, according to George Kittle. And like you said, he understands this offense more than Mac. I mean, Mac's only been here for half a season, so obviously Brock didn't know it, but you can just see it. He processes it. He showed why he's QB1. The mobility was there. I was worried about the mobility. Overall, I think he did a good job. I gave him a B, because there was a little risky plays. But, I mean, the most points they scored all season, Brock Purdy's back. Coincidence? I think not.
No, there was a lot of good there. There was a lot of really good. I mean, Baldy was asked about it. He said there was no rust. He was amazing. The way he saw the field, his eyes, his touch, everything was there. Like he never went away. It was like he was there for the first 10 weeks of the season. It was amazing to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about the rust factor and you think about, being off that long of a period of time and then rehabbing the injury, I didn't think he moved quite like he's moved in the past. He looked more reluctant to move. And he kind of expressed to us that he doesn't feel the turf toe as much when he's just in the pocket. He feels it more when he's running, which makes sense. But, I think overall, I thought it was really encouraging. I'll tell you the other thing that I think is kind of encouraging is that we've seen two different kinds of games from Brock. We saw the first part of his career where he really, was just trying to play point guard, get it out of my hands. What's Kyle playing? He's calling a play for me to throw it to CMC in the flat. CMC is going to get the ball in the flat. It's like he never held the ball and changed the play. And for the most part, he just went with what Kyle called. I kind of felt like last year he held the ball more, partly out of necessity because guys weren't open. He was running around more. But you know what, Raj, I kind of feel like if this turf toe injury forces him to commit to playing from the pocket, 10 or 20% more, I think that might wind up being a blessing in disguise. I kind of feel like he's a little bit more consistent from the pocket than when he starts running around. There's more big playability when he runs around, and there are going to be some games where he's going to literally have to run around. But I kind of like Brock from the pocket, and I'm eager to see what it looks like over the next handful of games because who knows? I mean, maybe for him kind of being forced to play from the pocket will make him, play on time and get the ball out and become a little bit more like the distributor he was as a true rookie.
Yeah. So we'll see. No, 100%. I agree with that. And I mean, again, also part of it could be his confidence in running right now or being mobile because of the toe. Like you said, he felt a little bit of the soreness when he was running and stuff. So obviously playing him in the pocket is going to do him wonders because you don't want to keep stressing, that toe. Obviously he's going to have to playing out there, but it's good to see the offense clicking and he can do it from a variety of ways. And Kyle Shanahan kept him, rolling and he kept the offense going. And I feel like having CMC is just such a great luxury for any quarterback because he's like a wide receiver out there. If this guy played wide receiver instead of running back, he'd be an all-pro wide receiver. But it's great to have, Brock back and he was slinging it, and I think he'll only get better. But the other thing is, not only that, but you could tell the offensive line played pretty well. They kept them protected for the most part, and that's another thing. If he's going to sit back and be in the pocket, the offensive line has to protect him, and I think they did a good job. So I think the team was really fired up and eager to have Brock out there, and you could tell he was eager to get back out there, and he really played, like I said, with a chip on his shoulder. And I was like, man, this guy's coming out. They were humming today or on Sunday, and it was nice. But again, this was a good game for him to come back on. The hometown boy, it's good. It was good, man. I was very impressed, and I think moving forward, he's going to continue to play with that chip on his shoulder because everybody was writing him off during the last couple of weeks. And to me, and I agree with what Baldy said, it just was impressive. He missed 7 weeks, and he came back. And he picked it. Like I thought he was going to be rusty, making errant passes. I expected at least an interception, and he didn't get any. And he played very efficient, overall, and didn't look rusty to me. So Brock was back, and I think he'll only get better from here on out.
The bottom line is he wins games.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. With the win last week, he's got a 641 win percentage. That's basically the equivalent over the course of a 17-game schedule at 10 or 11 wins. So that's what he's been as a pro. He just wins and wins and wins. Now, a lot of Niner fans, after watching Purdy return so successfully, were like, hey, trade Mac Jones. Brian Baldinger, though, weighed in on that. He says, I'm not taking a second-round pick. Mac Jones just kept them in playoff contention. What other guy's going to do that right now in the whole league? What other guy's going to keep that, especially when you're losing Fred Warner and Nick Bosa? This is a good situation for him. We've seen quarterbacks go down under Kyle's offense, not for Kyle's reason, but we've seen a lot of quarterbacks get hurt here in San Francisco. I'm not letting that guy out of my building. I don't care what they offer me. So that's Baldy on 95.7 The Game radio being asked about the trade potential for Mac Jones. I kind of agree. Now, Baldy makes it sound like there is no price. Like, I won't go there. Everybody's got a price, but there's no way he's worth a second round pick. I mean, Dante Pettis was a second round pick. Drake Jackson was a second round pick. I mean, second round picks can be busts. To me, he's worth multiple picks. Either a day two, 2 day 2 picks, or a day 2, a day 1, a day 2, a late day 2, and like a third pick. But if it comes right down to it, Mac Jones, especially if Brock, there's still some unknowns about his health situation. Mac Jones under contract for $7 million is an absolute steal. And to me, you could argue that Purdy's contract takes away some of his value because he's making $53 million. But if you're going to argue that, then you got to argue that Mac's contract adds value because he's only under contract for 1 year at $7 million. It's like if you're a team that thinks Mac Jones is pretty good, you don't just have to make, you don't just get to make a trade for him. You get to make a trade for him, and then you get a full season if they do it going into next year to kind of see what you got before you really have to commit, $118 million or whatever Brock got guaranteed. You don't have to make that commitment to Mac Jones right away. You can trade for him, see how he plays in your system, kind of dip your toe in the water. I think he's going to be a very attractive trade piece for a lot of teams for those reasons.
Yeah, I agree. I know there's already rumors circulating. We heard Rap Sheet, Schefter, they're all saying he's, going to be offered trade. It makes sense. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to make that take. Obviously, he's played really good. He showed he could start in this league and win games. Not just start, but win games, and that's big. I mean, again, no Nick Bosa, no Fred Warner. They had no Ayuk. They got no Pearsall. Like, he was with nobody for many weeks. Like, this team has been banged up, and Mac Jones played. The game to me, that shows what he could do was that LA game against the Rams. And nobody expected the Niners. We were like, oh my God, Mac Jones goes into LA, which is technically a home game for the Niners. But regardless, walked into there and he battled them in, overtime, got the win, eating bananas. Like, that was the game. He flexed up on the guy. Like, I was like, holy crap, this guy's unbelievable. Like, Mac Jones proved he could win. He's the best insurance in the in NFL. Because look around the league. Quarterbacks are getting hurt. Players are getting hurt. And you have to have a good backup quarterback. If the playoffs come and, playoff team loses like their star quarterback, they're screwed. The 49ers, we have a star quarterback, but our backup has shown that he could become, a winning guy, and he understands the system and he can operate it smoothly. So I don't want to trade him, but there's another flip to it. Out of respect to Mac, if he absolutely gets an offer he can't refuse somewhere and he wants to start, go chase your bag, go get your money, go start, go prove yourself. But if that's not the case and he agrees to play and stick around the Niners and play one more year to continue to develop himself and showcase the league, hey, I'm a starter, then please don't trade him. But Mac Jones has been fantastic for the 49ers. Blessed to have him. Great backup, great insurance for Brock, who has had injuries over his career, unfortunately. So we still got to, make sure Brock doesn't get hurt. But if he does, we got Mac. And again, that was his play, his gameplay, his ability to win was why we had the whole conversation last week of ride the hot hand. People said, don't bring in Brock because Mac Jones was doing so good. So why would I want to trade a guy that could come in and take this offense and win games and you don't miss a beat? I want to keep him.
I do too. I mean, I'll move him if he demands out, but even then, I want a solid price tag. I mean, I want something good in return. Now, I'd be happy next year with Brock Purdy, Adrian Martinez, and Curtis Rourke as the quarterback room. I could be happy with that. But when you have Jones under contract for $7 million and you can win games, and you look about it, I mean, think about it. We've already seen the 49ers get to an NFC championship game. Let's just say that happens again this year. Let's say they go to Philly. Let's say they, for however they do it, let's say they wind up in the NFC title game in Philadelphia, and the same thing happens. Brock Purdy plays 6 plays. He's knocked out. Well, if you're going to Josh Johnson, it's game over. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to Mac Jones, it may not be game over. And that's worth a lot. What did you think Sunday was? How much of that was the Niners? How much of that was the Cardinals? I mean, I think this is kind of the universal debate that's happening with all 49er fans coming out of this game. It's like, we're really excited. Why? Because the Niners look great, but we're also want to pause. Why? Because the Cardinals had 17 penalties and were -3 in turnovers and had major plays, including a touchdown called back, and they just were god awful. What's your takeaway there? Was that about the Niners and the Cardinals made those mistakes because of the Niners? And are you here to credit the Niners or are you here to blame the Cardinals for last Sunday?
I think it's a little bit of both, right? You have to give the 49ers credit. They came out. I mean, from the moment the game started, they already were about to score within 15 seconds. Sky Moore puts them in perfect position. CMC touchdown on the first play of the, first offensive play. And they were just rolling. They were rolling. But Cardinals, they were so injured in this game. You had Marvin Harrison Jr. and their other receiver were out of the game. They had a bunch of injuries. Like, hey, look, Niners are injured too, so it's kind of even playing field. But Jacoby Brissett threw 47. He had 47 completions. It was fucking crazy. He had 47 completions. So the Cardinals were playing hard. They weren't healthy. It's a division game. You still can't, you still can't guarantee a division game. But the 49ers, they beat up on a bad team for all intents and purposes. A team they should have beat by double digits. They beat them by double digits. And Cardinals were fighting. It is a road game, although, again, it turned into a home game for the 49ers. That's what they do. But regardless of all that, I mean, you got to give the 49ers their credit. They came out and they plowed them. But Cardinals tried. They played. They still got their stats, but they played awful. The turnovers, the penalties, all that. They had more yards than the 49ers. Like, they passed for more yards than the Niners, which is crazy. The big difference was the turnovers. And the 49ers, they finally won the turnover battle. And when you win the turnover battle, you win a game. So I think it's both, but yeah, obviously we got to continue to win games because you beat the Cardinals. People are like, nah, it is a bad team. Now we got a bigger test Monday night against Carolina, a winning team, 6-5. They're trying to play for first place in their division because in their division, if you don't win that division, you're not making playoffs. It's very close between them and Tampa Bay. This is a must win. This is the biggest game of Bryce Young's career. This is going to be a little bit more of a challenge, but I still don't take anything away from that Cardinals game. They were trying, but they're a mess right now, obviously. So.
Yeah, no, the Cardinals, the Cardinals are a bad organization, but I thought it was a little bit of both. I mean, I would not sit there and be like, I can't give the Niners any credit. The Cardinals were awful. Yeah, the Cardinals had a bunch of penalties, but they still doubled the 49ers up in yards. So I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I can't say that. I think the Niners I think that's a quality win. When you can beat a team like the Cardinals in their place, and yes, I say like the Cardinals, I mean a divisional opponent that's got some, good coaches, got some good players. You always will take it any way it comes. We should tell people 49er football season this year on the Krug Show is presented by Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chat, season-long leagues, and of course, Sleeper picks for daily fantasy. Use promo code Larry, Larry, real easy to remember. Larry's Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions do apply. And thanks to Sleeper for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. All right, let's get to our next topic. 49ers have 6 games left. Home against Carolina, at Cleveland. Who's going to be at quarterback there? Then there's the bye week. Then they play Cam Ward and the Titans. Then they travel to Indianapolis to play the Colts, who are maybe the surprise team of the year in the AFC. Yeah. Then they come back for the Bears. Ben Johnson's Bears are playing really well. They got 7 wins. And then they finish with Seattle. Both Chicago and Seattle are at Levi's. 6 games left. What will the Niners' record be in those 6 games? They're 7-4 currently. If they go 4-2, they're 11-6, like I predicted. And I think they're going to go 4-2. What do you think they're going to do?
Yeah, I think 4-2 is fair. That's kind of where I have them at. I think 11 wins is pretty much where they're at. It's not an easy schedule down the stretch. Colts are tough. They haven't really performed well against AFC teams. Titan should win that game. Bears is going to be a battle because the Bears are right now number 1 in their division. That's a big playoff. That's a playoff game. Seattle game, playoff game. That could be for the division if everything plays out right with Seattle still playing LA again. And they both have big-time opponents down the stretch. Browns game could be a trap game. A lot of people think we could smoke the Browns. They don't have a quarterback. That whole situation's bad, but their defense could keep them. It could be a nasty, very low-scoring game. Myles Garrett, I feel bad for Myles Garrett. They need to give this man an offense, a quarterback. This man has more sacks than anybody in the league. He has more sacks than the Niners' entire defense. This is crazy. The Niners, their defensive line is a liability, and that's, to me, the one issue where I'm concerned down the stretch. I think we'll win 4 games. That pass rush is not pass rushing. Listen, Nick Bosa's number 2 on sacks on this team for the season. He hasn't played since week 3. That's crazy, Larry. But overall, I think we could beat most of these. I think Carolina's going to be a tough game. We should be able to win it. Again, this is the biggest game for Bryce Young in his young career. I think it's going to be too much pressure for him. But Rico Dowdle, man, I'm a little scared about that. He might gash us. His defense has not looked too great, but I got faith in Robert Saleh. I think we'll win this one. I think the Colts game might be a loss, and I think either Seattle or Chicago might be one of the losses.
I like the Niners to win in Cleveland and win against Carolina and beat the Bears, but I think they'll lose. I think they'll split with Seattle, and I think they'll split with Indy. But I would not be surprised if they wind up beating Seattle because Brock Purdy's never lost there. And here's the other thing is that the 49ers, that could be a game that doesn't have a lot of meaning for Seattle, but that also could be a game that doesn't have a lot of meaning to them, but it also could be the precursor of the Niners playing the next week in the exact same spot there in Seattle. We may see the Niners go back-to-back at Seattle, week 18, and then the first round of the playoffs. So in that regard, maybe Seattle will play week 18 like like there's something on the line, even if there isn't, just because, the next week they'll be playing the same team in the same stadium, and this time the loser's going home. So I don't know. That one is going to be, there'll be all kinds of interesting wrinkles to look at. What do you expect to see from this Carolina team? Dave Canales is in his second year. They went 5-12 last year. They do play a lot of high percentage of zone, the highest percentage of zone of any team in football. So a lot of teams throw a lot of man at the Niners. Arizona, for example, plays a lot of zone typically, but when they play the Niners, they play a lot of man coverage because they feel like the Niners don't handle man-to-man very well. What do you think? What's the challenge this week with Carolina? What part of their game do you sit there and go, I'm a little nervous about that?
Yeah, I already said it. I think the biggest factor that I'm so worried about is their running game. Rico Dowdle, that guy is an absolute monster. I'm worried about him. I don't know if our defense is going to be handle him. Is it going to be able to handle him? And I know Bryce Young's young, and I know Saleh can probably figure out how to stop him, and we can get him rattled. Again, this is the biggest game of Bryce Young's career, but he's got mobility. I'm a little worried about Bryce Young. Did you see his game last week? What, 4 touchdowns, 400 yards, something like that? He was on a heater last week. So I'm a little worried about this offense. Him and Ted McMillan are starting to really jive. They got good chemistry, man. I think this offense for the Panthers is really good. And I think they're going to test our defense because our defense has absolutely no pass rush. And when you have no pass rush, you can start airing it out. And that's exactly what Jacoby and the Cardinals did. As much as we beat them, I know some of that was garbage time, but still, they were passing all over us. So I'm a little worried about that. And if Rico can keep gashing us, it's going to open up the play action. So I'm a little worried about that. But again, my biggest takeaway for this game is, as big as a game this is for the Panthers, because again, they were a 5-win team last year. This is their first playoff type game. And I don't know if Bryce Young's going to be able to handle that. He's a very young quarterback. I think the lights might be too bright for him. Monday Night Football against the storied franchise on Monday night, Niners. I think he's gonna kind of fizzle up in this game because it's gonna be too big for him.
Ricky Pearsall, what do you expect? I mean, some of these games, it's like he's just getting a workout in. I mean, he's running up and down the field, but he's not really making any kind of impact on the game. He was asked about it at his locker after the game in the locker room, and he was like, hey, the ball just didn't come my way. There is something to be said for that as a receiver. At the end of the day, though, he's now played 5 games. He's got no touchdowns this year. He's a first-round draft choice. I know some people think I'm too harsh on him, but you've invested a first-round pick. I think there's an expectation that he's going to be one of your better players, and it's, almost Thanksgiving. He has no touchdowns. What do you make of Pearsall as far as he was out there? Shanahan said he played well. We have an example of at least one play where he kind of took the coverage with him and JJ made a nice catch. So maybe his presence out there benefited the other receivers. There's that argument. But eventually you got to produce, whether, we can make up excuses and come up with reasons and justifications for why you don't. But at the end of the day, you just got to do, what I mean? It's just, you just got to score touchdowns and make big plays. He's had some good games yardage wise, but no touchdowns this year. What do you think they can bank on from Pearsall the rest of the way?
Yeah, no, I mean, at the beginning of the season before the injury, he was top 3 in receiving yards. It was him, JSN, and Puka. And, they were cooking. The whole NFC West was on top of the receiving chart. So I'm not going to sit here and say, he wasn't playing good. He was having a really good season that we expected. Touchdowns are something that he just hasn't scored yet. I think they'll come his way. At the beginning of Kittle's career, he wasn't always a big touchdown scorer, and he kind of got that over the years. He scored his 50th career touchdown now. So sometimes it takes a little while for guys to get that end zone. This week, I honestly wasn't expecting much out of him. His first game back, he hadn't played in weeks. PCL, he was out there running cardio. He was getting open. There's a few plays. If you've watched people have done film breakdowns, he was open. I think his presence alone just maybe helped the offense. I don't think he was the top read. Obviously, Kittle, you had CMC and Jennings, and I think Purdy was just going through those progressions and not, utilizing them. But they have a connection, and it's not an excuse. He's a first-round pick. You need to produce. But I do think that they were just maybe they were taking it easy on him this week. But moving forward, I expect him to have a bigger impact in the games. I think he'll, start getting more catches. But if I'm Ricky and I'm a receiver, and I'm supposed to be the top guy, I'm gonna say, give me the ball. I want him to be a little bit more vocal. I think he's not hit that point yet in his career. Maybe, I mean, I'm not in the huddle, but receivers, alpha receivers, they say, give me the ball. Give me the ball. I need him to tell Purdy, like, yo, if I'm open, give me the ball. Because he was open a lot in this game. So again, I'm not too worried about it. It was his first game back in multiple weeks after a PCL injury. The fact that he came out without an injury, Larry, is the W for me. So next couple of weeks, I expect him to get more integrated into the offense. Now, if he doesn't, we got a problem, Larry.
Who is more likely to make an impact on the Niners, both this year and in the future? Jacob Cowing or Brandon Ayuk?
Oh man, can I say neither? Because
yes, you can say whatever you want.
Jacob Cowing, I don't even. This man has torn.
They say he's coming back after the bye week. He's had
that's what he says. This man's pulled his hamstring more than I could count on my hand. Like, this man's pulled it. He's gonna come back. I don't expect Jacob Cowing to be any what of a help this season. And Brandon Ayuk, this man, every week they gaslight it. Oh, they could open that practice window. No, they ain't opening the practice window. We ain't opening the practice window. At this point, even if they open up Brandon Ayuk's practice window, let's say they open it up after the bye, week 14. He's got 3 weeks just to practice. Doesn't mean he's gonna come in the lineup. And then boom, by like week 17, maybe he comes in, and then you play in the playoffs. I don't think Brandon Ayuk plays this season. I think they're gonna shut him down. I think they'll trade him this offseason. So honestly, neither one of them. Jacob Cowing, he's not worth a damn to me. He's never showed me anything. He's been injured. It's unfortunate. And Brandon Ayuk, I think he's out of there next year.
I think I'd go with Cowing. I think I'd go with Cowing to make more of an impact this year. I think I'd go with Cowing to make more of an impact down the road. It's not that I believe so highly in Cowing. It's just that I agree with you. I don't think all indications are that he's not coming back this year. And then I get this vibe that they've moved on kind of emotionally from him and that they may trade him. That would not be surprising to me. All right, let's finish up with this one. What did you make of Nick Martin's debut? I mean, he only played 14 total snaps. Raj, he made 7 tackles. He had 5 solo. I've been complaining and calling for this guy. He's sitting behind Luke Gifford. Finally, they came to their senses, and they played Gifford where he belongs to be played, on special teams and special teams only. And they played for the first time Nick Martin, their 3rd-round pick out of Oak State. And it's funny. It's like, I keep highlighting that he hasn't played, and then I keep getting Niner fans, they blew the 3rd-round pick. And I don't believe that to be true. I think they're blowing it now. I don't think they blew their 3rd-round pick. I think they actually hit on their 3rd-round pick. I think they're blowing it by not playing him. Yeah. In this game, he got some time. And it's funny, Robert Saleh talks about him like he's going to be awesome. Johnny Holland told me to my face this summer that this is going to be a very good player in the NFL for years to come, that he's got range that nobody has, that he's got desire that few have. Saleh also told me a couple weeks ago, hey, man, there's an adjustment period, and he's got more to learn, and he's not doing everything right, and that's part of the reason he's not playing. Yeah. I don't give a crap about any of that. If Upton Stout Upton Stout's gotten roasted and toasted and burnt like toast, over and over and over again, and he's allowed to keep learning on the job. We can't have 2 standards here. If Upton Stout can F up and learn on the job, then why can't Nick Martin do exactly the same? I want to see more Nick Martin, and I don't want to be told that he's not good enough. And then you put him on the field and he makes 7 tackles in 14 plays. What if he played? I don't know. What if he played 30 plays? Would he have made 15 tackles? What if he hadn't played 60 plays? Would he have made 30 tackles? I mean, I don't know. But I mean, 7 tackles, 5 solo, and 14 plays is pretty damn good, is it not?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. And again, he's your 3rd-round pick. I mean, you got to play him, man. Like, that's just a disservice not to play him. I know Kyle doesn't always play his running backs and guys like that, but this your defense is banged up. You need as many good, young, fast, athletic players out there. And I think you got to give Nick Martin a shot. He played well in, the limited time. I know a lot of it was cleanup time and it was garbage time, but when he was in, he was making the plays. I mean, look, Tatum Bethune's hurt. Get the young guys in there. The only way they're going to get better is by letting him play. He's going to learn. If he gets burned on coverage, he'll learn from it. That's how you're going to get better. I feel like you just got to give him a chance, man. You draft these players to not play them. To me, it makes no sense. Get them in there. I know they're young. I know they're going to make mistakes, but this is the period. This part of the season right now. You got the Titans coming up. You got the fucking Browns. Hey, man, this is where you can afford to take some risks and some debt gambles. You got to take gambles in this league, and you got to play your players. I get it. I know at the beginning of the season, Salah was, he's not doing good enough in special teams, and this and blah and this. Listen, man, the defense is wearing thin. You got nobody. Just play the damn guys you drafted. I want to see them. I want to see them just as much as you want to see them there. I want to see them just as much as you wanted Willie Lampkin on this team.
Well, first of all, if people watched this guy at Oak State, he excelled as a pass rusher. He excelled as a blitzer. He hunted quarterbacks. He's got 4 or 5 speed. They ran him at the quarterback. This guy can impact the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And right now you have nobody who can impact the quarterback. Man, I think develop some sub package, get this guy on the field and run him at the quarterback. What do you have to lose? Jacoby Brissett dropped back 57 times. Raj and I could have led you guys in sacks. You got none. You got no sacks. None sacks. 57 dropbacks, no sacks.
That's crazy.
Get this guy on the field in the sub package and run him at the quarterback. I mean, come on. Don't tell me, it can't be done. Oh, it's an impossibility. What you're asking for is he's not an edge rusher. Don't play him as an edge rusher. I've watched Bobby Wagner delay blitz and bother Niner quarterbacks for years. He doesn't have anywhere close to the kind of speed and pursuit ability that this guy has. This guy can close space. This guy can move the quarterback off his spot. And also, if you send this guy at the quarterback, we're not talking about a 200-pound corner. We're not talking about a 208-pound safety. We're talking about a guy who's closer to 230, and he's jacked. There's no running back in the league that's going to stuff this guy. Just blitz this guy run this guy at the quarterback on 4 or 5 key third downs. What do you have to lose? You're not getting to the quarterback right now, and it's only because you played the lowly Cardinals did it not beat you. You got to come up with some way to move the quarterback. I think this might be one of their last remaining actual viable ideas to put heat on the quarterback. If this doesn't work, it might be a wrap. I mean, the rest of these guys can't get it done. I mean, there is nobody. I haven't seen one Niner rusher that I was like, oh man, this guy's really good. I mean, Huff is trying to do it, but he's getting chipped. He's getting comboed. Yeah, I mean, they got nothing. They got absolutely nothing. They got to use this kid somehow, some way.
I agree. And I got a question for you. I don't know if they asked Kyle this. I didn't hear it, or maybe you can ask him. So they started Robert Beal this week, right? Because I guess he's better at special teams over Clelin Ferrell. And then Robert Beal got hurt because he got a concussion.
And they had to go with 3D linemen.
The day before, you promoted Clelin Ferrell to the active roster. You promoted the man, and you made him inactive because you wanted Robert Beal.
You wasted an elevation.
Wasted him.
You only get 3.
Ferrell in the damn lineup.
Well, here's the thing about that, though. I do understand, and I this is my last point before we get out of here. I'm going to share the screen. One of the things that I really do think, I mean, like we were having a discussion. I'm not sure if I asked you this yet, but I was talking to somebody the other day. Oops, sorry about that. Making wrong buttons. But I asked somebody the other day, I'm like, hey, what do the Niners need to do to get off the canvas and make this a successful season? Do they have? And I was saying they got to win a playoff game. some people were like, hey, they just got to go to the playoffs. If they go to the playoffs, it's a successful year. I was like, well, your schedule's the worst in football. How about you go to the playoffs and you win a game? So I looked at that as the success. But then people were like, well, Krug, then you're basically saying if they go to the playoffs and they put the Rams in LA and they lose, that it's not a successful year. And that's kind of a high standard. So I thought about it for a second and I thought, you know what? Really, it's really a two-pronged. I look at it as two things, two-pronged success. If you make the playoffs and you're competitive in the first round, even if you don't win, but you also develop your young players, then I feel this year has been a success. And I basically printed out a version of the depth chart. Let's see if I have it here. Yeah, there. Wait, where is it? There it is. Okay, and here it is basically. And I highlighted it. And basically I came up with 30 guys that are on the roster that are young, ascending football players, guys who are getting better. And if they just develop, that would be a success. And I got 12 on offense, 18 on defense. So I got 30 guys. The 12 on offense: Ricky Pearsall, Jordan Watkins, Jacob Cowing, Dom Pooney, Connor Colby, Brock Purdy, Mac Jones, Adrian Martinez, Curtis Rourke, Jake Tonjes, that's 10. Isaac Guerendo is 11. Jordan James is 12. You got 12 young players there. Whether you're going to develop them in practice or develop them in games, develop those 12 guys. If you can get those guys to develop a little bit, that's going to be a positive. And on defense, this number is more like 18. Beal, Collins, West, Keon White, Mikael Williams, Evan Anderson, Sebastian Valdez up front, D. Winters, Nick Martin, Tatum Bethune at linebacker, Renardo Green, Darrell Luter, Jair Brown, Derek Canteen, Malik Mustafa, Marquise Siegel, Jacob Robinson, Upton Stout in the secondary. See, I got 18 guys on D and I got 12 guys on offense. You got 30 guys on your roster that are young and are kind of coming along at the same period of time. And you know what? That really bodes well, I think, for their chances down the road if they can coach them up. If they can, Robert Saleh said something that I thought was really interesting and somewhat cocky last week. He wasn't, he kind of, he meant it. He meant to say it. He said, our goal for the year is to make sure our young players are playing their best ball in January.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a cocky thing to say because you may not even be around in January. That means he's saying we're all about making sure that our young guys are peaking in the playoffs. But I like that mindset and I like that message. And to me, I like the confidence from Saleh. But Raj, I'll say this: if the Niners can develop these 30 young players, some of them obviously are out for the year. Mikael Williams. Some of them, are going to be on IR and they won't be called up. Some are on PUP. Some are on NFI. I mean, some of these guys aren't going to play, granted. But if you can develop these 30 players somehow, either on the field or off the field, in practice, whatever, to me, that's going to make this year a success because that's a lot of young players on a roster all at the same time. And if they can get 30 of these guys, let's say of the 30, they can get 20 of them to really, be their core. Raj, I mean, that they could really be great a year from now when they get healthy and get a couple more picks. So to me, it's a two-pronged success. Like go to the playoffs, win a playoff game would be great. Mm-hmm. But I could be okay with go to the playoffs, be competitive, but you develop those 30 guys.
Yeah, I think that was their plan going into the season. Obviously they let go of a lot of veterans, a lot of fan favorites. They signed some of their core players, but they really tried to rely on this draft last year and this year. It was a lot of players drafted in these last 2 years. And, Robert Saleh at the beginning of the season said, hold on to your seatbelts. It's going to be a roller coaster of a season because he knew it's a young team. They're going to go through ups and downs. Young players make mistakes. They get better. And, if they can go through this season and then play like a veteran, so to speak, when the playoffs come, then I think they've done their job. And I think that's what the 49ers are looking for is, hey, man, we got a lot of young players. If we can, I don't know if they'll get 20 of those guys to be starters, but if you get a handful of those guys to become starters moving forward for the next couple of years, you're going to save money because a lot of those guys are going to be under rookie contracts, and you've gotten younger, and that's what it's all about. You can't always rely on older players. So I think that's a good take, Larry. Overall, I mean, I still think a successful season is winning a Super Bowl because hey, the damn Super Bowl's in your stadium. I won't be happy if we don't. I mean, I get it. It's nice. It's you get the participation trophy. You made it to the playoffs, but you want to have another heartbreak season again. I mean, I get it. It's been a tough year, injuries. I'll take a playoff win, but
I'm with you. I'm with you, and I'm not like I have soft standards, but don't you think you need to adjust that now that Bosa and Warner are
no,
out?
you still got the goal to win a Super Bowl. I mean, this team is young. Let's see what you got out of these players. I mean, you still got some damn playmakers. You still got Kittle. You still got
no
CMC.
rush.
You still got Bosa. Trent Williams ain't walked through that door forever.
Yeah.
You still got a damn team, man. We may not have
Trent played well this week too.
He's been playing good. He wants that ring.
All right, let's hit our supers and we'll bolt. The supers are brought to you by Habbas Law, 1-800-INJURED. They'll fight to make it right. HabbasLaw.com on the web, HABBAS law.com. I love these guys. They're great. Thanks to them for being sponsors of the show. Omar and Tarek Habbas are fantastic people. They're great tourneys, Raj, but more than anything, what I love about these guys is they're really rooted in the community, and they've got an initiative out right now I want to tell people about. The holidays are about family and warmth and connection and home, but for a lot of people, it's a sad time of the year, and food and shelter are not guaranteed for some people, and 1 in 3 people struggle to afford food. Thousands live without shelter. Families are in crisis. Kids going to bed hungry. We're doing well, but not everybody is. And so sometimes it's a good time to just pause and appreciate where we're at and what we have. And also, the Niner faithful, the one thing I've loved about having this YouTube channel is it's gotten me face to face with many of the Niner faithful. And Raj, you're a big part of this as well. You're a big player in the Niner community, and the faithful are awesome. And they show up when it matters most, and our community needs that same approach right now. So this November, join Habbas Law supporting Martha's Kitchen, which serves 200,000 meals every month to people who need hope and food. Let's feed more than ourselves this holiday season. If you can't, I totally get it. And believe me, I know there's lots of people listening that just can't help out. I get it. And, then this message isn't for you. But if you can help out, if you're doing really well, if, you've got a few extra bucks this time of year, for the first time, and everybody goes through cycles. Sometimes you're poor, sometimes you're rich. Everybody's doing well, then they're doing poorly. It's, you're up and down in life. But if you're doing well, if you could visit Marthas-kitchen.org and make a donation, that would be awesome. MARTHAS-kitchen.org and donate today. Habbas Law, always fighting to make it right. Thanks to Habbas Law for being part of this great initiative. 1-800-INJURED. Once again, HabbasLaw.com on the web. They will fight to make it right. They're great attorneys, but as you see there, they're rooted in the community, and thanks to them for being doing that stuff, because we're in a moment in history where we need the private sector to kind of rise up and help out. And largely it's happening. So I appreciate guys like Habbas Law. I mean, they create a lot of revenue and then they put it back into the community, and I really do appreciate that. I'm glad that we're associated. Let's hit some supers right here, and they're brought to you by Habbas Law. We've got this one from 49er_throwback. What in the hell happened to the Dubs? We better beat Miami tomorrow. Looks like KC might miss the playoffs. And now we're talking football. The Kittle-Juszczyk friendship is real. KC, if the season ended today, is out of the playoffs. Detroit, if the season ended today, is out of the playoffs. They may be the best 2 teams in football. And if the season ended today, they're both out of the playoffs. How about the Houston Texans, who absolutely throttled the Niners? If the season ended today, they're not going to the playoffs. So, hey, man, it's hard to make the playoffs. Not everybody does. As far as the Dubs, what happened to the Dubs? They got old. No,
it's a long season. Their bench didn't show up today. Their old players played good today. Steph was cooking. Butler was cooking. They didn't have a bench today. But it's been a 6-game road trip. Game 5 of 6. I think they're just a little tired.
They're old. I mean, they're old. It's a wrap on them. They're not going to win anymore.
There you are. They're going to win championship this year, my guy.
You want to wager on that?
Let's do it. I'll bet.
You want to wager on? You want to wager that the Dubs are going to win the championship?
They're gonna do it, baby. Batman and Robin.
Come on.
Come on, man. What are you talking about?
Is Steve Kerr sitting next to you right now?
Yeah, Steve. Did you get out of the room?
Steve, is Draymond right behind you right now? About to
He's
choke
got
you?
he's got his fist. He's gonna choke me if I don't say that.
What did the fans start calling him a WNBA player? Is that what
They
happened?
called him Angel Reese. Oh my god.
That is awesome, man. That is awesome. Angel Reese. And he got all bent. Hey, Draymond, you should be more savvy than that because you know what's happened. As soon as you show everybody that you don't like being called Angel Reese, whoever the Warriors play in the playoffs, get ready for the Angel Reese chant because it's coming, baby.
They're going to do it. But you know what? Steph Curry, he's on Friday. He's not going to do it tomorrow because tomorrow's Jimmy Butler revenge. On Friday, I made a prediction. He's going to pass Jordan for the 40-point. I thought he was going to do it tonight. It was close because he traditionally plays good in Orlando, but the team just didn't have enough. So towards the end of the game, it was like, whatever. But if they would have been in that game and would have had a chance to win, Curry would have broke that record today.
Did you see Jimmy
I
Butler?
love his sneaker free agency because he left Under Armour. This man, every game he pulls up with the different shoe. Dude, he paid homage to Shaq and Penny.
Did he leave Under Armour? Did Under Armour fold?
Oh, he left them. I think they were gonna fold, but he left them. And now every game he pulls up with a different sneaker. I love it. I was talking to my boy at work today. I said, listen, they're in Orlando. What if he wears the pennies? And he wore the pennies. Oh my God, this guy's amazing. I love it.
He's going to Nike.
He will, but I think he's having fun just wearing different shoes. Like he's having fun with it.
Hey man, remember when you were a kid and you wore any shoe you want? You know, that's where he's at right now. Tommy Huxley says Larry and Raj are goated. We're goated. I like that.
Appreciate it.
Isaac Santee. What's up, Isaac? Love you guys. You guys are awesome. Go Niners. I'm glad to see Brock Purdy on the field. Happy holidays, Isaac. Have a good one, man. Bill Kennedy, do you think Brock will make it through the season? You know, he doesn't look like he can run the same, but you know what? I kind of think this is going to be a blessing in disguise because I think he needs to play from the pocket anyway. Mm-hmm. And I think he's going to move well within the pocket. I don't know. I'm hoping he can get through. I would say, if I had to say, I'd probably say no because there's just too many games and it's likely that he's some recurrence of it. But then, if he does have a recurrence, he's going to just play through the pain. So he may have a recurrence and we don't ever get that information. You know what I mean?
I think he's going to make it. If he gets past Cleveland without an injury, he'll make it. That Cleveland game to me is so scary. Myles Garrett, this man has 15 sacks on the season. This guy is a monster. Did you see him this weekend? This guy is too good. Myles Garrett is he's a generational pass rusher. He's like the only pass rusher that everybody thought was going to be like elite. That's better than they all thought. He's so good.
He's this generation's Bruce Smith.
Yeah, he's so good.
He's huge. Man. He's 280. He's incredibly dominant. He's so he was a legit, high pick. Yeah, I mean, Bruce Smith was number one, but yeah, this guy was incredible. This guy, he's absolutely monster. Absolutely monster. Physically the most dominant. Now he's got all the tricks of the trade to go with the physical gifts. Yeah,
well, it's not only that. Okay, he got paid tons of millions of dollars, which he deserved. Like he was one of the highest paid pass rushers, right? And he wanted more money. He stayed with Cleveland, and he's still playing so hard. That team is like in disarray. They got no quarterback, and he's playing so like I got.
He only knows one speed, man. I watched this guy at A&M. He's 280. And he runs in the 4.5s.
He's
a freak. Man. He's a freak.
If we can get past him without an injury, I think we're good. But Trent Williams is going to have his hands fucking full that game.
Just don't even bother holding the ball. Just throw it away. Just don't let Myles Garrett kill Purdy. Lambo just says, "Hey, I'm Lambo. $4.99.
God, man.
$4.99, you bees. I'm Lambo. Damn it." Tommy Huxley, did you see McBride's flop? That dude is a punk.
Yeah, I posted it.
Well, you saw that whole thing.
Yeah.
Raj, do you speak this?
Yeah, slat.
Is this stank finger? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
All right. Damon Bruce told me that the other day. I didn't know. I didn't know.
There's two. You can do two fingers of that, but then the other one's like the slime. You know, slime. You know what that?
No,
You
I
don't
don't
know.
know what
You
that.
don't know.
No,
You don't listen to.
I don't.
You
I
don't
don't listen to slime.
Okay.
I don't know my
Debo used to
slime.
do slime.
Someone said, Krug, you're a dork. I'm like, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Tommy Huxley. Did you? Okay, we got that one. Appreciate that one. Kid Trickster. Oh, this should be good. Let's see what Kid Trickster. What does Kid Trickster have? Panthers are filthy, like star linebacker Justin Haraz. Is it Haraz or Haraz?
Justin Haraz.
So bad. So bad. So bad. Come on, Trick. Panthers are filthy, just like linebacker Justin Haraz. Say it fast. Anthony Catania saves us. Raj, what's up? Larry, thank you for the amazing 49er coverage. Trying to get to the game Monday. Big game. Has playoff vibes. Go Niners. Thanks to our good friends at Sharp Corners, Sports Cards and Collectibles. Anthony Catania owns Sharp Corners, Sports Cards and Collectibles. He's a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. 205 Cypress Avenue. That's where they are. They're in Pacific Grove, California, right there on the Monterey Peninsula. Anthony, give him a call. He's at 831-521-5264. He is paying your shipping on anything you order anywhere to send it anywhere in the continental U.S. if you just mention my name between now and the end of the year. You order a signed autographed, Jerry Rice helmet, and you live in Buffalo, and it costs a mint to send it. You're not paying that. Anthony's covering that for you. So how about that?
How about
Check
that?
It out. Sharp Corners. If you don't like that, you don't like Sharp Corners, Sports Cards, and Collectibles. I'm stealing from Grant Napier. Stefan, top 3 least favorite NFL teams in order.
Ooh, good one.
That's a good one. Top 3 least favorite. I would say Raiders. Can't stand the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders are just ass. Can't stand Seahawks. Dave Softy Mahler and his Star Wars action figure collection. Who else can I not stand? Probably Dallas.
Yeah.
Dallas, it's hard to dislike Dallas because they've been such crap for so long. But anytime they get good at all, it's like, oh, God, I can't stomach it. And Jerry and his idiot kid, and, they just, and they're good for football, but they're bad for winning. And, so I'll say those 3. Raiders, Seattle, and Dallas.
My 3, Dallas, Kansas City. They beat us twice in the Super Bowl. And the Seahawks. I hate them. My 4, they used to be top 3. I'd say the Raiders, ever since they left the Bay. I mean, they're irrelevant to me anymore. But when they were in the Bay, I couldn't stand it. But now it's like whatever. They're 4. But Cowboys, I hate them and their fans. I can't stand the damn Chiefs. And Seahawks, same thing. I hate them and their fans. I'll never forget them for throwing popcorn and crap at NaVar Bowman after his injury. Yeah, those are
that's bad. Okay, so here's another spin on this same question, but it's kind of a different spin.
Mm-hmm.
If tomorrow the Niners, whatever, cease to exist, they didn't exist. It's like relegation. They got relegated to the UFL, whatever. They're not in the league. You have no Niners. You can't be a Niner fan. All my YouTube channel screwed. Your IG empire squashed in a moment. No Niners. They don't exist anymore. And you have to have a new NFL team. Who would be your what team would you root for if there were
team I'd root for?
Niners? Is there a team that you kind of root for? See, like a lot of times it's family or regionally, or there's some connection or whatever. I have 2 teams that I root for because of family.
Oh man, I guess let me think about this. You tell me who you want, and I'll think
Well,
about it.
my dad was born and raised in San Francisco, and he's the reason I'm a Giants fan, Niners fan, Warrior fan. He's the reason I'm, that's just the way it is. But my mom was from Chicago, so I do root for the Bears. But the Bears, it's easy to root for the Bears because the Bears suck so bad. You know what I mean? So it's easy to be like, oh yeah, I root for the Bears. But then also, my sister lives in Connecticut now, and my nephew, who I love, is a big Patriots fan. So I kind of root for the Patriots. They're my AFC team. I would, in my dream scenario, I'd love to see the This is what I'm dreaming of. Niners somehow get in the playoffs, right? They will, right? They're going to get in. They get into the playoffs. Somehow they get to the Super Bowl out of the NFC, and they get there and they get to play the Patriots. For whatever reason, no Kansas City, maybe. I don't know, but they slip through. Drake May has a couple good games, and then we get a young, not ready for primetime Drake May and Patriots in our stadium with Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, and the Niners get the 6th Lombardi over the Patriots at Levi's.
Now I'm talking.
Drake May. That's what I'm hoping for.
I would love it.
I could picture if the Niners got to the Super Bowl. Like, first of all, I think the NFC is going to win the Super Bowl. Beyond that, but if the Niners get there and it's New England there, I think the Niners are going to win that thing.
Wow, that would, I think the Niners definitely would win that. But now that I thought about it, I guess if I had, I don't want to root for another team if I'd feel dirty. But if I had to, I'm gonna roll with Harbaugh and the Chargers. I'd go with them. I'd go with the Chargers.
I like that. That's a good one.
Staying in California.
Mark Dambra says, "Who's the better team, Seattle, Lambs, or Lions?"
I think the Rams.
I'm gonna say Lambs. Yeah, I think that because Stafford in that D line is legit.
Stafford's unbelievable this season.
Stafford is really good. Mark comes back with another one. He says, Larry, Raj, if the Niners win a playoff game, do they become the most feared team in the postseason?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, Brock Purdy has won a championship, an NFC championship, and Kyle Shanahan has been to the Super Bowl. The Niners, the one thing that we absolutely know for sure is the moment's not going to be too big for the Niners. So there'll be some nerves in the playoffs from these teams. I don't think the Niners are going to be nervous. So it should be fun to watch. Titus Moeller, Purdy's deep throwing instincts could unlock Watkins. Well, there's no question about that. He likes to go deep, and Watkins can get deep. I'll say this. Raj knows because he was there. This summer, Purdy to Watkins
was good.
Was a thing.
It was good, yeah.
And look for that. I'm dreaming of that, actually. That's a good one, Titus. 49er _ throwback. What in the hell happened to the Dubs? We better beat Miami.
Oh, we did this one.
We did this one before. I don't know why.
Real quick, going back to the 49ers being a threat if they wouldn't play. Listen, if the 49ers make playoffs, they are going to be a team that I don't think people want to play because they got Kittle, you got CMC. They're going to be playing with house money. Now, again, the only problem is they don't got pass rush. So teams aren't going to be worried about their pass rush. But you got Kyle Shanahan, you got Robert Saleh, a week to prepare for you. You give them that time. You got Kittle, you got CMC, you got Trent Williams. I think
use Nick Martin
and Nick Martin.
Use Nick Martin as a pass rusher.
There you go.
Maybe Robert Saleh has that idea, but he doesn't want to dust it off until the playoffs.
Maybe.
Because Nick Martin would be devastating. JC Montana, can we give props to 71? He's not missed games. Talking about Trent, big Trent.
Yeah.
I talked to him the other day. I said, Trent, when you pass set, you look like you're about 6 feet tall because you bend your knees so much. And he's like, hey, man, you got to get leverage and you got to have power. And, a lot of times that comes from a bended knee. So when you watch him pass set, he's a big man. We're talking about a 6'6" guy. But when he pass sets, he really gets low because low man wins. And, I love talking ball with Trent, man. He's awesome. Andrew Kroll says Panthers suck almost as bad as as that Charlotte dump. Very positive comment. Andrew, if Niners don't exist, Bucks is the second best option. Same team. Okay.
I like Baker.
Sure it's the same team, but I like Baker. Baker's easy to root for.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, that does it for us. Raj, I'll give you the final word. What do you think? Give me a prediction on the game against Carolina.
It's going to be a fun one. I think Carolina is going to be keeping it close. But again, I think the lights are going to be too bright. I think the Niners are going to get this win. I'll say, I don't know a score yet, but I'll say like 27-20. But here's the thing. Christian McCaffrey, first game against his former team, the team that traded him. First time he gets to play them since the Niners traded him. Christian McCaffrey's going off this game. He's going to go crazy. It's going to be a lot of emotions for him after this game because it's his former team, but look for CMC to go crazy on this one.
If there was a redraft and they redrafted that 2017 draft, Mahomes for sure would go number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Myles Garrett would probably go number 2.
Yeah.
The 49ers went with Solomon Thomas number 3. I think if there was a redraft, they would have gone with CMC.
They should have. They should have drafted him that year to begin with.
Should have gone with CMC. All right. On that note, have a great night, everybody. See you later.
Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful. You